I'm gonna do these wacky little TikToks and then I'm gonna flatline somebody, is what happened to TikToker Mr. Prada. Yo, welcome back to the Wacky Show. Today we're gonna be talking about Mr. Prada, the TikToker. Since we got a new character on the Wacky Show, we gotta do the synopsis of the mission before we get into the rundown. There's not really much to say, honestly. As a YouTube channel with 2 videos on it, I'll show that on the screen, and most of his content comes from TikTok, obviously, and yeah, it's not really too much different there in terms of like what he does. It's pretty much just semi-relatable, semi-funny, depending on, you know, who you are, but semi-funny just content. Oh, POV when you're trying to cheat off the person next to you and they turn their paper in too early, you know, shit like that. Alright, boom, now that we got his lore out of the way, we can get into the sticky situation, because it's not really a wacky situation this time. Now, this TikTok boy, Mr. Prada, he was, you know, just doing his normal thing, I guess, just, you know, surviving and living life, making his wacky Lila TikToks. And I guess for whatever reason, he decides to just straight up flatline somebody, and that's what we're going to be getting into today. Now, obviously, man little over here, you know, Mr. what is his name, Prada, yeah, Mr. Prada, obviously we can't get his side of the statement as of right now, considering that he's arrested and in jail, but I got y'all covered. What we can do is take a look at some of these news channels to see like kind of the breakdown of everything.
EBR Sheriff's detectives have charged Terrion Thomas with the murder of Dr. Nick Abraham. Thomas remains in jail in Dallas on a Baton Rouge Police Department warrant related to a police chase and crash. Those lingering questions: do investigators believe he had help? Are there more arrests pending? When will Thomas return to Louisiana? Do detectives know the relationship between Abraham and Thomas? There is a lot to unpack tonight. We're going to take you through the timeline of events investigators have released so far and the questions that remain outstanding.
So we find out that Mr. Prada's actual name is Terrion Thomas, and he ended up flatlining William Nicholas Abraham, who's a 69-year-old therapist. Funny sex number. Watching this newscast, like this news video, it's much like a fruit by the foot, but instead of fruit by the foot, it actually just gets sadder by the second. That is until a little bit later. We'll get into that. I'm gonna just keep you interested for now.
And why would anyone want Nick Abraham dead? That's a big part of this investigation to determine a motive. But what we do know, Abraham last posted on Facebook Friday, September the 27th, looking for tickets to the Saints game. The next day, Saturday, September 28th, around 11 a.m., surveillance video captured Abraham at an apartment complex off of Essen Lane.
He was by himself. It appears that he was maybe going to look for the apartment. He was not seen alive again.
But you see, Mans was trying to just, you know, get some tickets for a game. And I guess since he posted that on Facebook, someone must have, you know, replied to him and said, hey, I have some tickets. Just come meet me here and, you know, we can do the transaction. And obviously, I assume that person was Terrion Thomas, the TikToker dude, Mr. Prada boy. They said in the news majig thingabob that, you know, surveillance caught the therapist dude, you know, Mr. Nick. They caught him just like kind of looking for the address or like looking for the apartment. But they never show us for some reason. Like, obviously, if they say they have it, I only assume they have it. I don't see why they would lie about something like that, but why not show us? But to play devil's advocate, like I try to do a lot of the time, maybe like whoever had the surveillance footage, like whether it be like, I don't know, the fucking city or like some random store or something, maybe they just didn't want to give it to the news people. Because sometimes that do be happening, I guess, where the news people don't get it, but like obviously the officers and everybody that's investigating the situation, obviously they get it.
Sunday, 8:25 a.m., Tangipahoa Parish deputies found the body of Dr. Nick wrapped in a comforter, bound with duct tape, and inside of a tarp, dumped along the side of US 51 in Fluker. The warrant states Abraham's head was covered in a towel, and it lists significant blunt force trauma to the head, the official cause of death. Just hours later, a license plate reader picked up Abraham's car exiting I-12 in Livingston at Jubin Crossing.
Y'all see what I mean, right? Like, it genuinely does just get sadder the more you watch. He was found on the side of the road, bound with like duct tape and shit, all wrapped up. Like, dog, what the fuck is going on here? This was unnecessarily premeditated. Like, there's no way that bro just did this on a whim. And then the part I really don't get is, why would you, number one, why even flatline somebody in the first place? I don't think anything really gets that deep, but nevertheless, you know, after flatlining somebody, why would you take their car? Like, surely you just get an Uber. Well, I mean, even then that's like pretty trackable, but still though, like you'd get any other means of transportation, just literally anything the fuck else, not bro's car. That has to be one of the most boneheaded decisions I think I've ever heard in my life. That's damn near the equivalent to jaywalking right in front of the police station. Not gonna lie, that was a pretty bad example, but y'all know what I mean.
And this message went out to law enforcement statewide.
It's registered to a homicide victim that was located in northern Tangipahoa Parish on September 29th.
By Monday morning, that is all law enforcement had to go on, but it worked. Just after noon, Baton Rouge police officers saw Abraham's car near the intersection of Sherwood and Coursey. The driver took off. Officers chased him before he crashed and ran away.
He called for a ride from a family member, and that family member, not knowing what was going on, picked him up, brought him back to his apartment.
So after flatlining some guy for seemingly no reason, he decides to take his car for a joyride, I guess. They aren't too specific on like how the police pulled up on him, like if they try to do like a traffic stop or if they just met him at like in a parking lot. I assume they met him in a parking lot since that's where the little picture is, or like the video is. I meant to say the picture in the video, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I assume they met him in a parking lot, or maybe that's where like the chase ended. My bad, y'all. I did like literally 2 seconds of reading, and yeah, the car chase went on all the way until he crashed into that parking lot and basically just fled on foot. And for some reason, one of his like family members picked him up. I mean, I guess like I get it, them not knowing what was going on, but still, like surely you would have heard the sirens. Like how far did he run? How like far did he get as well?
Law enforcement was able to then backtrack the location of the vehicle and develop these images as a person of interest. Pictures taken from surveillance cameras from a store at Juban Crossing. In just hours, if not minutes after those pictures were posted.
Do you all remember the TikToker behind me, Mr. Prada? Well,
social media exploded. Comments, videos, and posts connecting these pictures to Mr. Prada, a TikTok star, now somewhat infamous with millions of followers.
I also forgot to mention that the police did not know who was in charge of this random ass pursuit that they had to go on. But once they found out, well, not found out, but once they seen like some type of pictures that they could post, they posted them, and instantly everybody was like, oh shit, it's Mr. Prada. I don't know how. I mean, I get it. Yeah, like a bunch of TikTok followers, but fuck me, I've never heard of this guy before. I'm not even trying to be like mean or anything.
We do have a witness that saw him by himself struggling to pull what we now believe was the body of our victim.
Inside the apartment, detectives collected blood samples and other evidence.
That's where they found what they believed was signs of struggle and of possible homicide.
The State Police Crime Lab expedited testing of that evidence before returning their report to the sheriff's office.
We got a DNA match for our victim last night, and that's why Terrion Thomas was charged with that murder last night.
And that's pretty much how they found him. They just straight up went based off of that. After getting all of his information, they went to a couple of spots that they figured they could get some answers from, and lo and behold, they had some answers. They even talked to some witnesses and collected blood samples, like I said, things of that nature.
The same family members who brought Thomas back to his apartment after the police chase saw these pictures on the news and later told investigators he boarded a bus to Dallas, where the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force arrested him on Wednesday. Tonight, the investigation continues into the relationship between Thomas and Dr. Nick.
We have no evidence that indicates that the suspect was a client of the victim.
Investigators are also awaiting the results of search warrants on several different social media sites.
Once they did all like the blood testing and all like the samples, like fingerprint samples and shit, like it was pretty much cooked for bro. That's when they said, yep, these are a complete fucking match to this guy. Let's just book him now. And now he's currently in jail. It's also weird to me that this happened in the daylight, like just in broad day. And the part about the neighbor seeing him drag something and just not calling the police, or at least being like a little suspicious, is just kind of fucked. Like I get it, you know, you can't always assume the immediate worst of people, but I don't know, man. Like you can kind of tell when someone's being weird and sketchy. You like dragging a big human-sized bag somewhere? Come on now. Honestly, good shit on the family for not trying to like keep this guy safe, like trying to make sure the police don't know where he went. They also don't say it here for whatever reason. Maybe they just didn't didn't have the information at the time or whatever, but like I said, this Nick guy was a psychiatrist, not psychiatrist, therapist. I'm off the fucking wacky gas. But yeah, he was a therapist, and in 2015, I think the year was, he was accused of essaying a minor that was male and 11 years old at the time. People on the internet started speculating as always, and they tried to connect the dots saying that, oh, well, maybe Mr. Prada was, you know, one of his, therapist patients. I don't personally think that this was the kid that, you know, got essayed by Mr. Nick Man, the therapist. But if it comes out to be true, then I genuinely would not be surprised at all. Terrion's like defense lawyer dude man ever said that, you know, there's no connection, that wasn't the kid that was involved in that situation all those years ago. But I mean, you know, as a defense lawyer person, attorney dude, I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to just be able to lie on the spot. Not really supposed to lie, but like you're supposed to kind of make it seem like something that it's not, or at least that's what it seems like when lawyers be trying to defend people that are just very clearly guilty. Take for instance P. Diddy's lawyer. He scrambles, I want to do a video on that, but like he scrambles any fucking time people try to ask him about the Diddy case, and when he does actually confront it, he just says some nonsense that downplays everything. So again, take Terrion's defense team or whatever you want to call them, take that shit with a grain of salt. That's pretty much the end of like the news broadcast, and coincidentally that's pretty much the end of this video because I don't really have too much else to say, mainly because there's not really any more information other than what we have right now. Currently he's locked up in the slammers and they're really just kind of waiting to see what's going on. We don't really know the motivation for this. I don't know if I would call it that, but we don't know like the motive for it. It's all just kind of weird right now, but the only thing that really does make sense is that he was the kid that, you know, got assaulted back in the day, and, you know, I guess now he's seeking his revenge. Well, at this point he already sought his revenge, so I guess, you know, he did what he set out to do, because you can only really look at the situation so many ways, and like there's only a couple of reasons as to how this happened. And the fact that it happened immediately after, like the day after bro posted saying, oh, I just want some tickets to the wacky game, and after that he just gets flatlined, like I don't know, that's damn near on some like JFK or like Martin Luther King shit. Other than that though, I'm pretty much out this bitch. The fucking video's long enough as is. Anyways, I seen you laughing while you was eating your cheese crackers and pepperoni. Can I have some cheese crackers and pepperoni? No? Oh, okay. Whatever. Since you was laughing, I seen you laughing, you might as well make that big red button a big gray button and sub to the channel. That way you can stay up to date on the newest shit. And with that being said, I'm about to go do something. Bye-bye. What's good? You back at the special lore outro. Hope you enjoyed the video. I assume you did since you made it to the special lore outro. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked the video, don't even think about touching that dislike button. Anyways, yeah, if you want more me, more wacky, go to my Twitch. That's twitch.tv/JoshVHS. Y'all, we are genuinely so close to 1K subs. We're like 40 off at the time of making this video. I want to get there so fucking bad. Let's do this shit immediately. And also just thanks for the support as of recently. I know I've been saying that in the last couple of videos, but again, genuinely, it just means the fucking everything ever to me. Y'all taking the time out of y'all day to watch my wacky Lula YouTube videos. So again, just thank you. And I always appreciate comments. So don't think I'm like getting overwhelmed with comments or like that. I hate responding to comments. I love that. So yeah, can we get more comments actually? Not even just like for engagement, although that would help for my engagement as well, not gonna lie. But like not even just for engagement. I just love responding to comments. I'm not gonna lie. All right, y'all know what to do. Say it with me now. Bladers, thank you for your time, and remember to let it rip. Cue that funky outro, man.